Hello and welcome to Train Sim. Well, we're doing a little off-the tutorial in 146, but we're not doing a tutorial on 146. We are doing a PZB tutorial, and as it is, it will be when you do that. So let's try and set up and control. I've got a keyboard in front of me, so I've got that handy. So, open doors up here. We're going to go all the way to Garmin from yeah, all blown off. There were trains coming the opposite way, and there was a train at Blangwin station before Garmin. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, which I've deliberately put there so we get a red light. And this is on PZB mode O, which is down here. Which is O is passenger mode. So the 85 is illuminated. I'll go for the others when we get to them. But that is to do with off the speeds that you can travel at. Set up your kind of passenger lights on. Reduced. Yeah, added. Vote for that one. Come on, done up. Oh, it's that annoying bugger with it. These coaches have annoying bugs on them. If they don't turn the information lights on. Coach lights on. Oh well, they're not working today. Don't hold the wind down, that's the one. No. Yeah, close the doors, mate. When the doors are closed, we're going to the tutorial. Despite it being on, it's not auto setting on the carriages, but to do with carriages, okay. Look, release the button. Right. So I'm going to zoom in so you can actually see the telly screen there. It's power. Where we go. As we're going to be, as it's obviously from the start, we're going to be going into the start program, which has just come up, which is on all PZB modes, not our ZB. It will be straight to 45. 45 it say there, but the rule is 40 kilometers an hour. Always go 5 kilometers under the limit. Technically this bit is supposed to be 40 kilometers an hour, just to point that out in real life. Not 130. And yeah, like I said, I've got a keyboard. So some trains are sensible acknowledging PZB without you have to press a Q button. And CIFA, which we will include into this, is the driver will wake. It goes off it'll light up every 30 seconds along on here, which is that one there, or the exclamation mark on the HUD. You can see the 85 is flashing on there with 70. Right. The N key is PZB release. On the controller, it is CIFA. Well, for PS5 it's a square button and the left it does override, and that goes release, and the circle does acknowledge, which also does the acknowledgement of CIFA. And also it's how you can put up the speed on here, which is shift down the trigger button of LR2. So I can go up to all the way up to 130. That is on, yeah. Strange why the doors are no, the lights didn't turn on. Increase the power. So we don't really. I'm keeping the window shut on top of speed. See for you do. So yeah, override. These are all the same for any mode, by the way. Override means you have to hold it down to go through a red light on a keyboard. It is the delete key. Of course, like I said, N key is release, so release from monitoring. If you go into start mode, or if you ever go into monitoring mode, pretty much, or to release yourself from LZB at the end of it. And page down is acknowledgement on the keyboard. I will get into LZB with the ice key on Snaprush Frecker current Arkham. I might even hit a freight with that route as well on either PZB mode O or U or M. I won't do a passenger mode on that. Even though there are some trains fitted with it, there's not all of them yet. This is, but I won't bother with this one. Well, I might, don't know. See what the time is when we get there, because I want to try and get this over and done. These relatively quickly, and this ain't going to take that long to do. Even though it's not on the HUD, it won't show. But you can use RFB to drop the speed. You don't have to do much for that. It's pretty much cruise control. Very sophisticated cruise control. This is just to point this out. This is not just directed to people with keyboards or people that just have controllers. This is both. And I know there's other people who have done a tutorial in the past, like Dovedale have done their own tutorials as well. Which I do highly recommend you going to Mr. Matt Pitterston, which is, I can't remember what his role is at Dovedale, a senior producer if I remember rightly. I'm not an ambassador, I don't work for Dovedale. He actually goes into a quite inventive tutorial with PZB mode, and he's done 2 of them now. One at the race of TSW2 and one since Freezer Dresden released. With the PZB mode, but mostly going on about the passenger side of things, because that was all that was out when he did the first one. Or you can go and watch PGT, not PGT, whatever it's called, someone else on YouTube who has done a tutorial before for German and British signalling as well at the same time. But unlike that one, we will only be doing the electric signals, colour light signals as they can be known as. Just to point it out, the HUD's only there for you to see it really. Because all the signals, I go for what I see on the route. Even though the HUD now says the next signal's red, I'm ignoring that. Down to that. Some routes do have speed control magnets, by the way, just to point that one out. So that will control, if you're not doing a certain type of speed, decrease rate over them, it will slam the emergency brakes on. Here comes the first eye candy. That's boring, it's a bit the normal colour this time. When I tested it, didn't it? So yeah. Even though I noticed that, I'm trying not to think it is there. So you see that, drop that down to 80 for now. So it slowly decreases. Acknowledge and brake. So you want to get down below 85. Then you can more or less bring it down calmly. Passenger trains are the easiest to get used to with the PZB. That was the main signal, so you don't need to acknowledge this one coming up. This is a distance signal. Even though you can be doing over 50, I say try and get down to at least 40 when you go over the 500 Hz magnet, which you need to get down to about 25 kilometers an hour. And you can't go faster than that when starting off. So the best way to do it is bring down RFB down to 25 and leave it there. And normally, I know there's some companies will say stop over a loco's length, but it doesn't matter in the game. And now we've successfully stopped it. So we're secured on brake 1, on brake 2 in some sense of it, which is B1. RFB is set, ready to go. That's off. When we can develop, we can go, obviously. There is a freight somewhere. which hasn't even sent off yet. But yeah, that one's not going to go off for a couple of minutes anyway. I won't do it, but I will take it because I'm going to go straight on the next one now. These are only going to be quick. When that's cleared, that one there, for an example, if I press the A cam, I'm inside a building. It'll change. That will go to green. That light will be obviously green. And this one here will be, for now, 2 yellows, which is meaning the next signal is red. So if one was green and one was yellow, that is 40 kilometers an hour unless indicated to do so on the signal, which is up there. And then if it's obviously double green, it means the next signal will be green. So if you are curious to prove that one, if I keep going around here, I picked the wrong current, never mind. If I go to this one here, that's what that signal would say from the next one. The white light you see there means the signal is closer than it normally be. So as you can tell, it's quite close. So there's no distance signal on that one, I believe. No, there's not. It's a shame all that way's red as well, was it? So I can say that as well. I don't think there's going to be a signal which I can use. Guarding slow speeds around here, is there? No. Nope. 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 And finally, no. So yeah. Well, one other thing, it will go straight into monitoring when you're stopped at a red light. And if you're not going at over 10 kilometers an hour, I can't remember how long it is, but you need about if it's not a couple of seconds, so you need to get literally a shift on. It will throw you into monitoring. And if you're stopped with the 1000 Hertz magnet on, it will also throw you into monitoring as well. So I'm going to say this is the first part of the tutorial done. And we're going to move on to PZB mode U, which is another scenario which I've created. Then we'll get onto some services in scenario mode. So I will see you in that one. There we go, PZB mode U tutorial. We're in the 1 into 2. Which I've got no idea what lever it's decided to pick. Oh, look at the UAV one. Anyway, DT2 church bells. Right, go down here. If you're curious, this is where ZB is, down here. If you want to know what that is, give me a shout out. There's Eva, because I haven't got a clue what WTB is. So, PZB mode on here, if I go here, is in U, but there's U. U is a slow freight speed. Even though I don't think the train we've got would deserve a slow freight speed, which is that. Even though I've picked the longest train which is available. Drawn up to 40. Got at least the brakes. Train lights I don't need them on, but I'll throw them on. Mast locks on. No beams on. Versus forward, we're all ready to go. Right. Before we go, you see the 55 is now illuminated. Both these are freight speeds. The 70 and the 55 are both freight speeds. The 85 is a passenger. B is LZB. So that is ready in that sense, but there's no LZB on this road. So we will be limited to 90 kilometers an hour under 55. PZB mode 50 on the 55, which is mode U, which we're in. M, which is PZB mode M, which is 70 on here, illuminated, means we would be limited to 120 kilometers an hour. So if I get this going, you can prove this train's likes with departing quite quick. But I'm acting like it's not. Once again, I will keep the window shut. I know this sounds so beautiful, but I need to talk. And see, like I said, in the start program, I'm not going to acknowledge it until we're at 10 kilometers an hour. It will turn off after a while. We go, well, you're awake. I'm not awake. Right, we're off. I'm happy. I will clear. And it won't that flash the 55. It'll flash to 70 and 85 like all the time. I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not. This is one which I will be pressing Q. Because it acknowledges everything otherwise, which even though it'd be a good thing because you might get stuff. Right, we're doing 22 kilometers. And into 55 it goes. Since we're now cleared, I will go up to the 50, which is actually what the line speed is. Of course, right at yard it's a bit mad, but hey ho. I don't think this level will ever be 0.3, but hey ho. I hope they do something about those buttons. On this one, we will have reduction in speed. That phone can stop ringing. In speed as well on it, so I will be acknowledging that. And with a bit different mode than PZB, than the passenger mode or the PZB mode N, we will be having to slow right down. So there's no one interesting, so they didn't leave a message. Oh, it's still on that. Once we can accelerate, I will. Don't go. You can go up to there, but make sure you do 90. What I do is I will, once we hit 90, I will try and get it to go over 90. I'm not here to try and get any nice shots, but here. I hope I actually have timetable it so I can actually get that red light. So I know there's a red light before the next station. But not deliberate, but at least that does stop every route, so it's along that route. Go on, I'm trying not to wheel slip. I will try and get the beep beep going. This does have it. I think I can safely say I'm going to go up to 100 for this now. I'm on full power. See how long. See if it comes up or not, because it should, like, the G light should illuminate. Because I'd be going over the restricted speed. Come on. Normally it would. It's not noticed yet, has it? My plan's full there, unless that's a bug. But normally, the G light there would light up because I'm over the 90. To moan that you're not doing anything. If you don't do anything, it will slam you when its brakes on. Very quickly. If you do the talent on Konarken, since that's only limited to really 160 kilometers an hour, and that's all it can do. It can't go over on that because it hasn't got LZB. It will actually come up with the G. So I know that's coming up. I'm going to do that. So straight off, it's braking slowly. acknowledged that and their brake. We need now to get below 55. And that means brake like crazy it can. But if you're doing a 155 or the service mode brake with this mode, just to point it out, it doesn't brake that easy. This easy. And release the brakes beforehand, don't do it before or after you hit that, because it takes ages for the brakes to release. And that will be realistic. So you'd be doing about 40 kilometers an hour, and while it can't be accelerated due to these these are still releasing. I believe the 182, that's probably got fair way for charging the brakes more than the 155, say, or the 185. I believe. Because they do take a bit of time. That release is quite quick, to say it. When that finishes flashing, we can then go back up again, which is stopped up to the 70. For the next speed limit, we won't have to do it and worry about anything either, because that's an increase. This is probably the best way really to drive rail, to do rail. It's not too hilly, you've got a bit of hills here and there. You don't, well, to be honest, no routes apart from Strucker Line 4, the thing then, which has freight with signals on it, which are best banned away from them, really, because they're not really timetabled or right on the route. So that's why on that basis. Back up to 90 we will see. When we go from 90 down to 80 there, we won't have to acknowledge anything. I do wonder if that's a bug in the game in general, might be in TS as well, that if you're in that mode you have to slow right down. Then go back up again. So this is, if you're doing a heavy freight, one we can check is by doing that. Seeing how long the train is kind of goes into it, but the weight is what you want to keep an eye on. I think there might be somewhere where you can actually find out about all this information on regards to what PZB mode are. If you're a real life driver, you know this already in theory. I hope you can do. But yeah. What, we're not going the full way to hard. Just to point that out. If I prove it, I've acknowledged an 80 which doesn't exist. I don't think no speed, that's probably a speed magnet, I'm guessing. Once again, I'm just letting RFB deal with the speed reduction. Once again, you can see the HUD's now saying that the red light's coming up. Somehow I'm driving this more efficiently than I was expecting. But if you do need a little extra help, do that. Or use the brakes itself, the train brake there. Electric brakes, what's being used anyway. We give it a small help and bring it down one. And that's not because of the signal's coming up. I see the signal, so down. It's when you see the signals you need to act more than do some, without not acknowledging anything, because it won't work. But acknowledge in your brain that you've got a stop coming up. So if you're prepared to do stuff, it's easier. And for anything, any mode, this is even in any country, if you see it, just do something. Once again, this does have a close distance signal as well. Hopefully I can get this one going quite easy. Oh, it is set for about 1/4 to depart. Once again, eye candy. I know that's the complete wrong train to see on this route. I'm going to brake quite hard because I know these brakes are not the best when it comes to stopping. On this mode, you want to be quicker down to the 25 more than anything else. You on F8, you want to be on the ball. I have no idea what that was. Some freight trains are double-headed in the game then. And double-headed means 2 locos, by the way. Since it's not a passenger and you don't need to worry about it hanging out and all that. Once again, now we're stopping. It sounds quite nice to see it happening. So hopefully that should be off at some point. Come on. Come on. Come on. So it's 1/4 past, that's a couple of minutes. So, on the next ones, I'm gonna have to do this in 2 parts. But I will go and do a PZB on for modem, which is going to be a service because I can't be bothered not to make another scenario for that. And we will be going. Then I might do another complete tutorial for PZB on its own back. Actually, I've decided PZB can have its own hit deliberately. Since PZB not really that moment in the game, it's only on 2 routes, which is Snelvastrack and Konaken and Unikolsberg, which I've currently not got installed in Kolsberg. But we have got all the other routes. That's down to the PS5 memory problem. I'm trying to waste time here, come on. Yes, there was a train coming the opposite way as well. I'm trying not to let that get too close to that. Hopefully that should be departing soon. Yeah, it's going right. It's easier to do that. Come on. I'm trying to keep an eye on the time as well. I want to glue these all in one hit together. Like I said, PZB can have its own tutorial, and I'll do that. I won't record them once I've done the PZB modem, but I will go and do that perhaps for me tomorrow. And I will use a service mode for that. So I will hit freight in that as well, with both modes as well. So yeah, PZB is actually quite an easy signalling system once you get used to it. I will go and do a AWS one. I'll go to Monday. No, it's it. AWS, DSD, and DVD. And at some point when I get all my American stuff reinstalled, I will use that. So, like I said, we've got a clear signal, but we know the next signal's red. We are rolling it. Away we go. I'm gonna let you listen to this. So the PZB goes off. There you go. We're in monitoring and I can't press F. Sometimes you can, but then you won't be able to go over the limit, which is what you're in. So you can, it might do it. No, it won't. But it will stop flashing and go straight to 55, and you won't be able to go over 55 though. The next one we won't have a stop, like it's stopping at a red light in it, because I can't be bothered to do it. Yeah, I told you, out of place again. Right, got up to 50 now. Because it's only flashing 50 now. The next signal has cleared on the HUD, but in real life you wouldn't be doing that. You would be tempted to keep it around 40 or so comms an hour until you see otherwise. Sometimes it's better off to go a bit quicker than you can actually get to someone. And yeah, you can just see it through the trees. You know it's cleared. Once the 55 stop flashing, you can go back up to line speed. But now you can see the next signal is at, it's obviously clear, but the next signal is at danger. Next signal, thank you. I don't know if this has it. So yeah, for this now, so this service it's going to be stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. Long. So if I ignore that, just to prove what it will do, it's already cleared, so it might not work. Don't clear, come on, thank you. Please work. No, I'm ignoring it now, come on. Please work. I don't want you to come up Zephyr, because Zephyr is the most easiest thing to get out of on this, and this is TS. Someone tells me this is bugged, because that shouldn't work. Right. So, like I said, I'm going to go on to the next service. See what that one. We're in for PZB mode. So then, for this one, we're in a 185. Which is the my 185, just to point that out, the delivery designer capability. This does also have working PZB. So pro to set up. I don't think I've actually done a service yet for this yet. I never checked if it was, but it's down here. Here's me mode M. So put it in straight. Oh, up to 40. Brakes are hopefully released or releasing. Some are linked with the throttle due to so it prevents rollback. So cleared to park for some stupid reason. The AI decides to park it too close to the signal, so you can't actually see the PZB, the actual light. These trains are quite heavy, just to point it out. That's what I'm carrying with the container train. Hello 101, parked up. So, try and hear the brakes release, hissing still. Just about hear hiss sounds, but we're off anyway. Bye bye. It's a shame the 101 doesn't get any passenger, doesn't get any freak ones. I mean, because in real life it would do, no as well. Hopefully at some point that'll change. But off we go from Lubeck. We're not once again going the full 55 to all the way down to Hamburg. So once again we're in restricted. We've entered start mode and release up to the 60. This is the one this is, yeah, the modes which is probably not good for this train. No, it's not. I can't remember, there's one service which if you get so far on it and you get a red light. Once again, these levels are quite good. There's not much I can say until we are after 90, that's when it goes up. Although if it's not too far, it goes up. All the freight coming the opposite way get a red light, just so I could have done that, but now I thought red light, I've got on board of it. There, that's handy. The next limit is 140. And if you are curious, 60% on the throttle is normally the safe to go for when it comes to not having wheel slip. Definitely for you on the 101 to point it out. So up to 90, we're going to be going faster than 90 in this, I can tell you that. Yeah, like I said, I'll do LZB in a different one, another episode to this. So this is in part 1. But it will be mostly devoted to LZB for the next one. Because LZB can be quite finicky in some trains. Unlike apart from, I think the ICE it has a slight fun of knocking this out once it's off. You can't turn it back on again until you stop, so that's why I'm going to have to do one separate for that. Come on. Do. Come on, 140, get here. Learn PZB, this is probably quite an easy route as well because it's slow. You do get red lights, so you can go through that as well. The passenger road, the freight wheel. Like I said, routes ignored, MSB, or good routes as well. Even doing, well, I will be using for the LZB B Schnellfastverkehr Kopenhagen. You will get picked that on there. You will get red lights as well, mostly for the ICE to put up with. Don't ask why the ICE gets all the red lights, but hey ho. Freight can as well, but none of the others really do. Yes, it's the end of stations. Today would be a nice one for you. Over level crossing. Haven't done that yet. I have to admit, this does actually go quite well. Alright, we can go up to the line speed, but no, it's 120. To 120. Got to increase that slightly so it goes up. So if you're doing heavier freight, like I said, even though this isn't long, you can sometimes say this does deserve PZB mode, but it's normally preference of what is being said, and normally you as a driver would not be able to touch that, change that, or even really mess around with turning these on. They would be on automatically, and they would have to be on, and no one can change them unless it's someone who's been told they're allowed to. So pretty much on high management basis has to be taught to. So like I said, I'm not going to have a red light for quite some time this, unless there is a service in front. what we might, because that there is actually due to depart. Is in my line, so yeah, we probably will at some point. And you can tell this is a freight loco because it can only do up to 140 kilometers an hour. For some strange reason, LZB doesn't show up on any of these screens, which I think it's supposed to in real life. So let's try and get the fun to work on this one to what I tried to do on Rules Ignored. Get up to full power as well, so it will overspeed. It should do it around 5 kilometers over. There you go. You know you're speeding when it does that. There you go, just to prove it. But this will, unlike PZB, me going freaking out, it will allow you to more or less go straight back up to power again. But as all the brakes are releasing on the train, you will go quite low. Then also you can go back up again. It worked. And if you didn't acknowledge C first, you can press C if I just do it. Come on. Do that. It will. You'll have to shut power off, then reapply power. This train's gonna hate me by the end of the day. You will be able then to go more back up to line speed again without hassle. Of course, if PZB hits you, you have to wait until it stops. Then more or less press any. Normally, as it's me, I would normally press every button in the history. You'd press them. Press one of these, so I can remember which one. I think it's that one. Release. It will then release you from it going, I hate you, and then allow you to drive again. So yeah. See, on that line, I think I deserve a 5 point, and we'll end it on that as well. So yeah, we're not doing Colonel Cam, I can tell you that straight off. How far should I go? Nine sports are everywhere on this route, annoying. So once again, sound signals, but hey, that's not what we're here for. So once the full train has passed here, this will be the end of the first part of the tutorial. Here it goes. So yeah, for this, LZB will be coming out once I've done this and edited this and all that. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I hope you'll have a very good day starting to drive with PZB and not having any problems. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Feel free to comment comments down below. Goodbye.